SMT Nation, we back. Nation, this is an update to the T-Mobile network, and it's a bit of a disjointed existence between Dish and T-Mobile. They're frenemies. They have spectrum deals. They have roaming agreements and all these things, and they literally move like they hate each other's guts, and they just can't seem to get right. And I know what a lot of you will say. You got Dish is the worst and all this, but T-Mobile is. I mean, you want to talk about super greedy? They're trying to take all the low band from everybody. So let's cover this update here. I'll put a link in the description for this article. Roger Chang, Cord Cutters News. Also in the description, ways to support us. Big shout out to the SMT Nation for all that you do supporting SMT content here on this channel. All right, so fresh off the heels of T-Mobile hitting, 300 million pops of the 5G UC, right, their capacitive component of their network, there's still work to be done. And one of the things that T-Mobile's doing, I think the dismay of a lot of folks, is focusing on low band, trying to get more low band spectrum. And I don't blame them for trying. What they're trying to do is make their network more capacitive while still having, bandwidth that can help. That's also a lower frequency that has range. Now, the places where the additional 600 megahertz, the low band 5G that they want to get, they're in markets where, Comcast has big time holdings. By big time, I mean, like the distribution, not so much the bandwidth, but getting an additional 5 megahertz, paired from Comcast and Columbia Capital. There's some additional spectrum there. I know they're working on deals in that respect. Some other companies like LB, whatever holdings, they're focused on getting the 600 megahertz, and that's fine. They're trying to consolidate and get a lot of that spectrum, and Dish has an objection to it, right? But for in-building coverage, for the penetration, for the propagation characteristics, it's worth fighting for. So whether it's the Columbia Capital deal, Channel 51 license company, LB license company, Comcast, T-Mobile's spending a lot of money on the spectrum. And I mentioned this in a previous video. Folks, all these transactions cost money. And this is why your cell phone bills are going up and why they're trying to migrate customers from old legacy plans that are cheaper to newer, more expensive premium 5G plans or whatever they're called. And that's just the fact. And they're paying premium for these spectrum holdings, for this bandwidth, right? Now, Dish is fighting. Dish is fighting against T-Mobile's push to get more of the spectrum from companies like Columbia Capital and so on. All right. And guys, there is a spectrum screen. It does exist. That would block essentially T-Mobile from getting access to this. Dish is citing anti-competitive effects. All right. Now, the 600 megahertz is a major asset to Dish, and actually they need it. Right. They should be the ones getting in on this as the new fourth carrier. Now, here's the thing. I'm not here to play police. I'm not here to say who's right or wrong. In business, anything goes. Whoever has the most money, whoever strikes the deals, they should reap the benefits of those things. But I will tell you, T-Mobile's gotten its way in pretty much every single shape and form. Multiple mergers, multiple spectrum deals, no spectrum screening. No, they haven't even really been regulated on any major level. They've just been freely doing whatever they want. So there is precedence here that could be set where it's like, yo, T-Mobile, you've been unwilling to to concede to certain things. You have been difficult with Dish. You haven't properly facilitated the fourth carrier. Regulators could say, we're going to exercise the spectrum screen here, like the FCC, if they have the power to do so. I don't know what the authority stands at currently, but Dish is fighting, and they're fighting to exist, and this would be big for them, and then they could get in on the spectrum if it was, for sale. And that would probably make more sense. At least for them it does, right? Because of, the smaller nature of their network and, what they need in order to be viable and survive. I, for one, don't like what Dish has done up to this point outside of the network. I think the network's fantastic. I think it could get better. They need capital. They need spectrum. They need everything, right? And this would be a step in the right direction for Dish if they could prevent T-Mobile from acquiring all these assets and then themselves get in on it. So not just block to block, but block to help themselves, right? It's an interesting development. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.